Hey guys, it's Michael, and last week I showed you how to make the base for our Harley Quinn Hammer. So if you haven't watched that video yet, you can click right here on this annotation to go to that video. Because this week I'm going to be showing you how to add the decorations to make it look like this, which I think looks pretty dang cool, if you ask me, because I made it. So anyway, without further ado, let's get started.
So for this project you're going to need black duct tape like last time. You're also going to need an X-Acto blade and some scissors and a cutting mat. Do not forget the cutting mat. You will also need a hot glue gun and a bunch of hot glue sticks to refill it as you go. I also use these Foamies Big Roll foam rolls that I found at Joann Fabrics. They were 36 inches by 60 inches and I got it in red and black. When I actually opened up the black one, I found that someone had cut a huge chunk out of it and then returned it. Just don't try to cheat the system, please. This part of the project involves a whole lot of cutting, so just be careful and don't cut yourself. I'll start with the red pieces you need to cut. You're going to need two large 10 by 10 inch squares that will serve as the end pieces to your hammer. You'll also need two 2 inch by 30 inch long red strips that will wrap around the body of your hammer, and four 3 inch by 5 inch rectangles which will be cut into diamonds later on down the road. Now, out of the black, you're going to need to cut one humongous 19 inch by 30 inch piece of foam. This will actually wrap around and serve as the body of your hammer. You'll also need a 3 inch by 5 inch rectangle which will cut down to be a diamond. That will serve as one of the end caps, and you will need three 2.5 inch by 1.5 inch rectangles which will be cut into diamonds for the other end cap. So now you can see here I'm displaying all of the pieces you need just so you can see them and visualize exactly what we're working with. Now grab your duct tape and wrap all the way down the handle until you reach the bottom. Just keep wrapping until you make it to the end. Go ahead and grab your big black piece of foam, then mark out the center, and using a PVC pipe as a template, cut out a hole big enough to fit around the handle of your hammer. We're actually going to be wrapping the foam all the way around the hammer and gluing it into place. So slowly, hot glue, little sections at a time. I found that if I worked in about 4-inch increments, the hot glue didn't have time to cool on me. But anything larger than that, the hot glue would cool on me and I'd have to redo the whole section over with a bunch of dried hot glue in the way. This step requires a lot of patience, so just bear with it and go with the flow. When you reach the other end cap, just go ahead and cut out another hole. Make sure that the holes will line up, and then go ahead and glue it all into place. Now when you're getting close to the edge, you're just going to get some scissors and you're going to trim off the excess before you hot glue it down, because you want the seam to meet each other perfectly. You don't want any of the foam to be overlapping each other, because we want our project to look as clean and as good as possible. Go ahead and stand your hammerhead up, and you're going to actually hot glue one of the big red squares onto the end just like this. Make sure it's all secure and snug, because this is going to serve as the end caps and you want it to look nice. So go ahead, flip it over, do the exact same thing on the opposite head, and then when you finish with this, you're actually going to take some scissors and then trim off the excess so you have a nice, clean looking circle. Grab that little end cap and you're just going to duct tape all the way around it and smush the duct tape down just so it turns black, because when you put it back on, it'll make it look nice and clean and it'll blend in with the hammerhead body. Now go ahead and take the long red strip and work your way all the way around the hammerhead, slowly gluing it into place. Make sure it lines up with the head of the hammer so you can't really see any black peeking out, and this is going to add a little bit more detail to your hammer. Then go ahead, grab one of those black diamonds that we cut out earlier, throw it on one side, and then the 3 small diamonds, toss those on the other side. The very last step is to hot glue the red diamonds onto the body of the hammer. You can stagger them, you can add more diamonds, you can add less diamonds, you can really customize the hammer however you want, but this is just how I decided to do my hammer.
There we go, guys. The finished product. I think it looks pretty cool. and it's the perfect complement to this one. So if you guys liked it, please like, hit subscribe if you want to see any more tutorials I do in the future, and I think that's about it. Go out and make your own Harley Quinn Hammer and post the pictures somewhere. I don't know how you can send it to me, but post them somewhere and maybe I'll find them eventually. Thank you for watching. Bye!